The Supreme Court continues to hear the Kolkata doctor's rape and murder, and we continue to follow the case relentlessly. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo Story. The Chief Justice of India, Justice Chandrachud, today asked both the centre and the West Bengal government to not politicize the horrific crime, the murder and rape of a young woman doctor at the RG Kar Medical College in Kolkata. But the Supreme Court did have some very, very tough questions for the West Bengal government as Kapil Sibal and a battery of lawyers represented it. Most of these pertained to the delay in the filing of the FIR and the role of the now ousted principal of the RG Kar College, Sandeep Ghosh. Now, investigative agencies are zoning in on Sanjoy Roy. So far, the only arrest made and the only perpetrator accused of both this rape and murder. The Chief Justice has once again appealed to doctors to call off their agitation, and we're already seeing resident doctors' associations in different hospitals beginning to respond to that call. But the questions continue to mount. Today, the Supreme Court had one central question. Why was the first information report in this case filed after the cremation? A lot of the questioning of Kapil Sibal, who was representing and leading the legal defense for the West Bengal government, was centered around this. The CBI, arguing in the Supreme Court, also alleged a cover-up and a tampering of evidence. There's a lot to unpack legally as well as, of course, politically. But above all, our attention must be focused on justice for this young woman and others like her who feared that the same could happen to them. Let me introduce our guests on the program today. If we can bring them up now, Saket Gokhale, who's of course a leader and a member of Parliament of the Trinamool Congress, joins us. Welcome to the program, Saket. Also joining us is well-known women's rights activist, Dr. Ranjana Kumari. Welcome back to the program. Also joining us is Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate, also appearing for one of the petitioners in this case. Thank you, Sanjay. And we hope to have Radhika Bhattacharjee of the BJP, who's having some network issues connecting to us, join us very soon. One of the comments, Sanjay Hegde, if I may start with you, I want to play out that comment and then get your response. One of the comments made from the bench led by the Chief Justice was made by Justice Pardiwala. And in his back and forth with Kapil Sibal, who's leading the defense for the West Bengal government, Justice Pardiwala said, "In my 30 years, I've never seen anything like this." He questioned the process that the Kolkata police had followed. I want to play out that clip and then begin our discussion. Take a look.
GD entry number 576 and the FIR number 52 of 2024 was registered at 23:45 hours. Is this record correct?
Well, may I therefore point out to your lordship, just take the timeline. We've referred everything
So
in it.
according to your record, the UD was registered at what times?
1:45 p.m.
1:45
p.m.
No, that's not true.
They're 1:45 p.m.
How do we reconcile the two records?
Well, I'll show that to your lordship.
Because we today have a report
Well, but that I'm saying, well,
which indicates that this is the time. So therefore, it's very surprising. Post-mortem precedes registration of UD.
no, Malad, this is what I'm told, Malad, and I can only
Is
respond.
someone responsible there to assist?
Yes, certainly, Malad.
If any officer is present, you may speak to him and tell us. Because if this is the fact, then it is something very dangerous.
I can.
You may be right, Mr. Sibal. This is something which even the Criminal Procedure Code doesn't prescribe.
Yes, exactly.
The entire procedure
Yeah.
which has been
Your
followed by your police,
Yeah.
police of the state, it is something which at least I have not come across in 30 years of my.
I know.
I have not come across this in 30 years. Before I come to Saket Gokhale for the Trinamool Congress's response, Sanjay, you're one of the lawyers appearing for the petitioners in this case. Those are strong words from the bench. The bench has continued to be quite scathing, but also very specific and detailed. It's also trying to separate fact from fiction. So, for example, the Chief Justice shut down the rumors of the semen samples that several doctors had spoken about on record, including to our platform. The Chief Justice today said, don't use social media language to talk about those. But a lot of the questioning today centered around why the FIR was not registered right away. What did you make of what happened in court today, Sanjay Hegde?
Well,
being a participant and having 30 years of experience of my own in the Supreme Court, my reading is that the court was substantially satisfied with the explanations given by the West Bengal government. It was not satisfied in the beginning. It came in with a huge number of questions. You see, half the problem, as was commented, was also social media. Social media went on the footing that the FIR as registered was at 11:45 in the night for a death which had occurred the previous night. So, when was the body found? Around early in the early hours of the morning. Then what happened? Where was the first entry of the crime made? Did you know it was a crime at the point that the body was found? Then who came to investigate? So there was an entire sequence. Now, half the problem was resolved when the court itself was taken through the case diary. The case diary, they finally started looking at it in sequence. And long story short, what transpires is that there is what is a general diary which is maintained in the police station, and there is a case diary which is taken to the scene of the crime. In the general diary, there was an immediate entry saying that there is a death which has happened. Thereafter, various steps were taken, including the autopsy and the post-mortem. And finally, when the policeman returned to the police station at around 11 o'clock, after everything had happened and the body was handed over to the parents for cremation, then they drew up a full FIR.
Now, can I ask you something? You say that you felt that the court was largely satisfied eventually by the detailed explanations provided by the West Bengal government. But they did take strong objection, and I want to play out that clip also from the Supreme Court. They did take objection to the fact that the FIR was filed after the cremation, right? And one of the things that Justice Chandrachud said, and I'll just play out that clip briefly, was that it was the hospital, he means the RG Kor Medical College, it was the RG Kor Medical College's responsibility, even if the parents had not filed an FIR, to have filed this FIR before the cremation. I'm just going to play out that clip and then we'll open it up for our conversation. Take a look.
There's one aspect which is extremely disturbing. GD entry in regard to the unnatural death is recorded at 10:10 in the morning.
That's correct.
Right? So
Right.
at 10:10, the police station, in this case, the
Tala police station.
Tala PS is informed at 10:10 that there's an unnatural death.
Yes.
Notwithstanding all this, the securing of the crime scene and the seizure and everything takes place at 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the night.
No. Well, that's why I've got timelines. Well, this is a bit unfortunate. I'll just give you the timeline. Exactly.
What were you doing up to there?
Well, kindly, I've given minute by minute what happened, Malats. We have a timeline prepared for your lordships, Malats.
10:10 a.m.
Yes.
CD 542.
This is from the outpost, Malats.
Right. The unnatural death is recorded by entry 561, 861, after they return to the police station at night.
That is how we have seen.
And 11:30 in the night, the FIR is registered. In the meantime, the body has been handed over to the mother for the purpose of...
And that too, the father insists for registration of the FIR.
Absolutely.
The hospital does not register the FIR. Father has insisted and registered the FIR.
Well, the father told us, you wait till I tell you, then only register.
No.
I will give a written complaint. That's what happened.
That at the time when the PMR was when the postmortem was conducted, UD 861 had already been there.
That's right. There's no doubt about it, Malats.
The inquest
Malats,
number is also
people
there.
are using some language, some expressions, Malats. Bengali speaking people are using some expressions in English.
No, there is no Bengali.
Only-
They are.
The record will show
So why does the IO then say that after I returned to the police station in the night, I recorded?
because he has to record, because he has to record what has happened all this while.
Okay, it's actually very confusing to follow, and I need to go to Saket and Ranjana, and hopefully the BJP spokesperson can also join us. But Sanjay, please correct me. As a lay person, I am understanding the court is expressing displeasure that the FIR was delayed. The court is saying the RG Core College should have done it on its own, irrespective of when the parents came, what they said, because anyway they were in too much of a daze, and the murder and the rape takes place at the college. Am I wrong in surmising this?
That is the initial reaction. See,
Okay.
these clips are, you would need a timeline of the clips to understand how the hearing proceeded. This happened earlier on, and these were the
Right.
doubts that the judges came in and put it to Mr. Sibbal. Yes, there was no FIR which was lodged institutionally.
Yes.
There is no real requirement in the law. Whoever sees that a crime has occurred or suspects a crime has occurred, complains to the police, or the police receive information, they record a first information report, and then the investigative process begins. Now, there is a format of an FIR, the final FIR as it is drawn. But often what happens is that there is a diary entry. So-and-so called, said this happened. And I am commencing investigation now. I'm going. So that is the general diary entry. The Chief Justice was asking the West Bengal government the entire doubts that they had, and they were expressed at various stages earlier on in the hearing. Then, as the West Bengal government produced the documents, or as the bench summoned the documents and then started putting it together, putting it against a timeline, despite all the interruptions and everything, it is my impression. Please do not let your viewers not take it from as a order passed by the court. But it is my impression that they seem to be substantially satisfied by the end of the hearing. And the fact that there is nothing in the order supports my impression.
Okay. Of course, we will wait to see on the next hearing, which is on the 5th. Let me bring in Saket. Saket, a couple of points. I think if we were to look back at the last 10, 12 days, starting from the delay in filing the FIR, the role of the principal, now the West Bengal government itself has opened an investigation into his role. The students' anger at him, the college misrepresenting, not the police, the college misrepresenting the death as a suicide to the family. This is what the family has said. Then this principal being transferred to another college instead of being terminated. Today, in fact, the new principal of RG Core has also been removed on the demands of the agitating students. Where would you today, with some benefit of time and distance, acknowledge that things could have been handled differently? Where would you today acknowledge mistakes that were made?
Thanks, Ms. Dutt. I mean, yes, one thing that I even admitted yesterday on a TV show as well is that we, could have asked the principal. The principal should have been either put on leave or suspended immediately. These decisions are not made by the chief minister. The file came into the health department. Someone signed it. The moment the chief minister found out, not only was he removed from there was an SIT formed and FIRs have been filed against him. I'll tell you what could have been done very differently in the last 12 days, though.
Yeah,
I remember, and the Honorable Supreme Court also has observed this today, which is, right now, Mr. Hegde is a complete gentleman, and I endorse what he said, even though I don't have his legal experience, but I happen to be a lawmaker. Is when we take selective clips and selective things and selective facts and portray them in a certain way, which is Justice Pardiwala lashed out at the West Bengal government. No, because at that point it wasn't clear. Second, an FIR was filed late, as Mr. Hegde clearly said, and as is recorded, by the way, in the document shown by the West Bengal government, a UD, an unnatural death case, because at that point you haven't done a post-mortem, you don't know if there is a rape or a homicide, a UD was registered immediately in the morning at 10:45 a.m. as soon as they got the call from the hospital. The call was made by the hospital. There was a written complaint also given by the hospital to the police. Everything, there was no delay in registering an FIR, there's nothing. What has upset us over the last 12 to 14 days, and today we're very glad that the proceedings went on, the Supreme Court asked a lot of questions because we got the chance to put things on the record. Ms. Dutt, is the media especially, the kind of things that have been run in the media. And I will point out an instance. There is someone who put out a news report saying that the emergency room at RJK Hospital has been vandalized, where the incident happened has been vandalized. When Kolkata Police called it out, the justification given was that, oh, the punctuation was wrong in it.
That's me you're talking about. Let me respond. Let me respond to that, because I actually should go on record to say how much I disagree with the latter part of your commentary. And since it's my tweet and my commentary, I'll give you full chance to complete your point. I'm just interjecting because this happens to be a reference to me, and I think I owe it to my audience to say that this is me you're referring to. I very much stand by my reporting through the night when the vandals, a mob of 7,000, stormed the RG College. I had desperate students who I don't know calling me. I'll show you some of the messages.
Was the emergency room vandalized like you claim, Barkha? Was the emergency room vandalized?
According to the doctors, and I have it on record from them on camera, it was.
As you said, that's the emergency room is where the incident happened.
This is pure sophistry, and I'm sorry with respect to you, Saket.
It's not me saying it, it's the police saying it. Ms. Dutt,
the police is absolutely free. The police is absolutely free to pursue me legally. I absolutely stand by my story.
Representative. I'm accountable, but so should the media be. I'm a public
absolutely,
representative.
And Mr. Gokhale, since you're insisting calling me Ms. Dutt, and Mr. Gokhale.
We can't get holier than thou and build a brand here for ourselves. We're all accountable. We're all accountable.
Mr. Gokhale,
Ms. Dutt, I have one question, by the way. I have one question.
No, I'm still speaking. I think we can listen to each other with civility.
If you wish to speak in the middle of when I'm speaking, Ms. Dutt, then that, I mean, if you have nothing, you can let me finish and then have your clarification. But the fact that you couldn't let me finish is because it's uncomfortable, right?
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I think you completely reveal your absence of priority. Your priority is not.
Ms. Dutt, I don't. Ms. Dutt,
you are just being.
Ms. Dutt, let me ask you a question before you make it ad hominem. Let me ask you a question.
You are being a Twitter troll. That is all you're being, Mr. Gokhale. But do go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
Do go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
No. Why don't you complete your point? I'll respond and then you'll respond. Sure.
No, because you commented on my lack of priorities. Are you doing the show from Badlapur or Gurgaon right now?
I did a show in Badlapur.
You were in Calcutta. Why aren't you in Badlapur right now?
That's not your business.
Answer the question.
That's not your business.
You're commenting on my intentions. You're commenting on
Mr.
me.
Gokhale. When you're done with your little rant, we'll come back to the woman. When you're done with your little rant, I'm not the point. Yeah. Listen, Saket. Listen.
4-year-old children in Maharashtra don't matter, Ms. Dutt. But Kolkata does because it's a TMC ruled state and not a BJP governed state. Let's move beyond that. I'm going to read two lines here. And I would like to know who wrote these, by the way. Doctors have argued that this is not the work of an outsider, but an inside job. An outsider, it has been pointed out by doctors, would not have even known about the whereabouts of the seminar hall, where the victim was resting after a 36-hour shift. Protesting doctors say that the victim's cars were also vandalized on the night she was raped and killed. Was she silenced for knowing something? Have you heard these lines before? They're from your column in the Hindustan Times.
Mr.
Gokhale,
when you're done,
what information do you have to conclude that the victim was silent?
Okay.
This was an inside job. Based on what?
Are you going to talk the whole show? When you're done, I'll respond.
I'm pointing out what you have written.
I know, but you must stop speaking. You must stop speaking at some point.
Was it an inside job? How did he conclude that? And how did he conclude that the girl was silenced for knowing something? Please let us know. How did you conclude that?
When might you stop speaking so I can respond?
I've already silenced. It's your show, Ms. Dutt. You can silence me anytime you want.
No, I don't do that. I have not muted you. I have let you have your say. Now can I respond?
Who was the girl silenced by, according to you?
Okay, let me play out for you before I respond. A whistleblower, Mr. Akhtar Ali, who worked at the RG College, and
he's talking about corruption. I'm talking about the murder and rape.
Hang on, I've heard you. I have heard you.
And the rape.
Mr. Gokhale, I will have to ask you to leave my show if you carry on like this. I will ask you to leave my show.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
the thing. I will leave you, but
Yeah.
I have a question. I'll leave.
I will respond.
Can
I
we-
will respond
can
if
we
you're
have
willing to
a-
listen.
As you
I will
promised,
respond. I will
Siddharth, I have
respond
one
if you're
question
willing
and
to
then
listen.
I'll go
I will
silent after that.
respond. I will respond if you're
Quiet.
willing to
I have
listen.
one question.
I
I have
will
one question.
respond. I will respond if you're willing to listen. I have heard you politely, and I will not be bullied by you or any politician of any party. Mr. Gokhale, stop being a troll. Stop
Oh
it.
my God. Ma'am,
Yes,
you've been
stop being a
threatened by
troll.
the Kolkata police. Please
Stop
don't make ad hominem
being.
attack.
I let the Kolkata police sue me. I dare the Kolkata police to sue me. Please bring
We
it off.
don't have the time and energy for that.
Please, please.
We are
Oh,
not
really? Then why are you quoting them? Then why are you quoting them?
You
Why are
would
you
get
quoting
sued by the
them?
Maharashtra police if you went there to begin with. What do you want?
Please,
Because the BJP state.
please, Mr. Gokhale, you have
Please go to
revealed
Badlapur.
your
Minors have
absolute
been raped.
absolute absence of integrity, absolute absence of integrity.
Dutt,
You have spoken,
Ms. Dutt,
Mr. Gokhale.
You know what?
Okay, I'm going to
You
have
know
to
what?
mute
You're
you.
saying I have an absolute absence of integrity. Let me ask you.
That's it. That's it. I have muted you now because I need to respond. Okay, it's my show. I've heard you patiently. I've been democratic and I've heard you. Now I want to say a few things. Every bit reported by me in my column on this platform has quoted doctors from West Bengal, either students at the RG Kor College or senior doctors. I can name each and every one of them. Each and everything carried on this platform. I don't know where the panel has gone. Let's bring them back up. Each and everything carried on this platform or written by me has been said to me. I have camera recordings of each of these. Maybe if your government communicated with greater transparency, then the parts of what we know so far to be fake would not have spread like wildfire and doctors would not have sat on this program quoting them. B, maybe if you hadn't sent a state minister and an MLA to protect the man that you now claim to be investigating, Sandeep Ghosh, the principal of the RG Kor College, people would have believed that you did not have something to hide. And maybe if you hadn't sent a government lawyer to defend this man in the Calcutta High Court, leading the Chief Justice to ask, what are you all hiding? Why is he so powerful? So yes, what is Sandeep Ghosh hiding and why is your party protecting him? And now let me play out Akhtar Ali's statement on the role of Sandeep Ghosh, the man that your government chose to protect. Take a look.
और ये बहुत बड़ा स्कैम है, बहुत बड़ा नेक्सस है संदीप घोष का, जिसको मैं एक्सपोज करना चाहता हूँ। क्या है ये बहुत सारे जैसे बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट का, जैसे डेड बॉडी का, जैसे टेंडर दे करके कमीशन लेना, छात्रों को फेल कराना, फेल करके पैसे लेना, और जैसे इलीगल जो स्टॉल कियोस्क है ये सब बगैर टेंडर वगैरह के रेंट पे देना। तो इस तरह का बहुत सारा इरेगुलरिटीज है, उसमें डेड बॉडी भी एक है। तो मैं चाहता हूं कि इसकी इंक्वायरी हो ऊंचे लेवल में और उनको सजा मिले और उनका ये रैकेट जो है इसका पर्दाफाश।
This is the man who didn't lose his job. This is the man who was protected by a government lawyer. And it is the Chief Justice of the Kolkata High Court who wanted to know why a government lawyer had been sent to protect this man. Now, Mr. Gokhale, you are only allowed to stay on this show if I am not the story. You and I can have a one-on-one live for 1 hour anytime you want to. But I want to come back to the Supreme Court. I invite you, place and timing of your choosing. We'll go live. We'll get the audience to do a jury verdict after that on whether you reveal more integrity or I do. It is my open invitation to you. For the moment now, can Barkha Dutt stop being the story and can we get back to RG Kor? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You have behaved like a troll and you have revealed how much you really cared about this woman. And for the record, I'm saying it again, I invite the Kolkata police to sue me. Please investigate my work. I stand by my work. It is not our failure that your government could not communicate in real time. Everything we have reported, a doctor has said to us on camera. I was not born yesterday, Mr. Gokhale. You have every right to your opinion of me, but you do not have the right to bully me or silence me, and I will not be bullied or silenced by you. And I would like to return. I invite you to a live debate, you and me one-on-one. Anytime, we'll set it up separately. Can we please get back to the RG Court victim? Thank you. Sanjay Hegde, go ahead.
Well, I was just watching all this, and one thing
Ridiculous.
is one thing that
Sorry, I don't get a chance to speak after you've given your monologue.
I'm afraid
not
that's
the
it.
second-
I'm afraid if you want to speak on the subject,
No,
you're
I'm not.
welcome
I
to
will
speak.
speak on the subject. I'm not here to be a spectator. You can't mute
Mr.
me.
Gokhale,
That shows your
Mr.
integrity,
Gokhale.
Ms. Dutt. You can't
Yes.
mute me like this.
Mr. Gokhale, I'll have to
Barkha,
leave
we
my
need
show.
to talk as well.
Let
Mr.
me
Gokhale has
respond.
carried on for too long.
Mr. I agree with you. Mr. Gokhale, you have to leave my show if you can't participate in it with civility. Please
I'm
leave.
not
We
going to
have
be an
to talk as
observer. If you
well.
don't let me speak, I have no option but to leave.
Please do. You're welcome to leave.
Sure. I have
We'll
one
pick
last
up on
question because you offered.
No,
Because you
sorry,
offered. You offered an
no.
open debate.
We're done. We're done. We'll set up the open debate with you later. Thank you very much. Go ahead. Sanjay.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed, Barkha.
Yeah. Now this was part of the problem, whether it was Mr. Gokhale or the party. And I'm saying this on your yeah. And see, the point often is that when something really horrific happens, what we need are words of calm and comfort. That is what was not offered by the authorities at the hospital or by the authorities who supervise the hospital or the administration. Yeah, when Sandy Hook happened in the US, President Obama spoke those words, and he was known as a comforter in chief. Anybody who says that, look, these things happen, mind your business, we know what we are doing, is asking for trouble. Whether it happened here in RG Core or it happened earlier in Nirbhaya. The point is that when we look at that lady, the doctor, she could be anybody's sister, anybody's daughter. She could be any woman. And there are all kinds of people out there. Horrific things happen. But when horrific things happen, when people come out to help, do not shut them down. Do not bully them. Do not raise questions on integrity. This is something which all rulers need to understand.
And honestly, Sanjay, I will say that a couple of things that doctors said to us on record did not turn out to be correct. The semen sample report is one such. The fact that there were multiple fractures, the postmortem does not say that. Did we report them? Yes, we did report them. Why did we report them? Because we had senior doctors and agitating doctors saying this to us on camera. We are journalists, we are chroniclers, we are not investigators. We were taught in journalism school that we attribute, we quote, and we take it on record. And that's all that we can do in an evolving situation. I have absolutely no problem with the Kolkata police suing me or Saket Gokhale's judgment of me or my leanings or whatever he imagines. But I have a problem for that to be the priority. That is not the story. I am not the story. The TMC doesn't have to talk to me if it doesn't like me, if it doesn't approve of me, if it doesn't relate to me. It's a free world. It's an absolutely free world. And this is the first such TMC spokesperson who has behaved like this. I have not seen this behavior, to be fair to the party, from anybody else. If this is a gear shift, well, good luck to them. So yes, certain things have indeed, reported by me and other media, turned out to be inaccurate because we had doctors who, for whatever reason, thought them to be true, in part because there was no communication, zero from this government. And I absolutely will not be bullied on this program. I heard him for 5 minutes, wanted to respond. I will not be spoken over. He can do what he wants to. Ranjana Kumari, do go ahead.
Having worked hard to get justice to Nirbhaya, and from day one, when Nirbhaya case happened, being part of that whole protest movement, and also till she got justice, and also, having visited the Chief Minister's office at that time, spoken to Prime Minister's office when we were protesting at India Gate. One thing, that there was enough time in West Bengal given for all given the social media times that we are living in, giving the misinformation and fake news time that we are living in, there was enough confusion created by the administration of the hospital as well as by the government to give space for all kinds of speculative news, all kinds of misinformation, all kinds of political slugfest, all kinds of, so real issue of this girl being smothered, the body was completely, and the fact that, the way it happened, there were mass rape, there was so much of semen. How would anybody, by any stretch of imagination, unless medical investigation is done, autopsy of the body is done, to know how much semen was there in the body? And also that, whether her pelvic bone broke or whether whatever happened has to come from the medical report. But there was enough time. And let me tell you, Barkha, we also were doing a lot of mobilization, protest, so we also had to be well informed when speaking to public and speaking on many national and international media channel. But what is important thing is that, for example, Mr. Ali's statement. Now, what is the veracity of that statement? Similarly, lots of doctors were talking to us also. We have friends in Delhi, Dr. Anjali Mehta or Dr. Chandralekha, who was in AIMS, a very senior doctor. Lots of these doctors who are protesting and they also were kind of coming up with all kinds of stories sent to them on their social media, on their WhatsApp messaging, that this is what is happening, this is what people from inside, then all the four friends who were there, all kinds of speculative stories and all kinds of stories which were adding fuel to the fire of this whole misinformation age. So I would say that, for anybody, I mean, I have been part of your programs. I know you. I know that how, with so much of integrity, everything that you do, with so much of, risk that you take to do programs, and also to be able to be very fair with your reporting. I mean, I have coming on your channel for so many times. But, I'm quite surprised with Saket's behavior today, because on the other channels when he was with me, in fact, he was quite accepting the mistake of the government. Precisely these are the things he said, that we made mistakes. We should not have continued with the principal. We should have not given him to another posting. So many things he accepted, but I don't know what was the reason for today's. Now, let me go back to the Supreme Court's situation. The whole. I'm very happy the Supreme Court took the case in their own hand. But, there are three things that I want to ask, and since Sanjay is here, I would just like to know, don't they know? And if the judges don't know, and Chief Justice and the Honorable Justice of Supreme Court don't know, what kind of a thing we have to go through to get an FIR report done? Even in the cases of rape, Barkha, I have dealt with many rape cases because I used to run Rape Crisis Intervention Center. Even to Vasant police station, everybody knows us in these areas, in police stations, because we all the time confront with the SHOs. How difficult it is for them to trust victim when you walk in. There was a big issue between police staff when one of my activist women beat up the police in Vardi. She slapped him because of FIR itself is a huge issue, Barkha. One, and number two, let me tell you one more thing here also. I just want to bring it to Honorable Justice's notice. 133,000 cases, according to the NCRB report, are pending in different levels of cases of rape. So if there is to be a special task force or committee to be created, why don't, and the judgments are coming after 32 years, after 40 years.
So Ranjana,
so what is legal system doing? Yeah.
Let me come in at this point. While I owe Saket, Gokhale, or anybody else to zero explanations about my journalism, in the Badlapur case in Maharashtra, on which we did a program just yesterday, if he'd bothered to do his research, Radhika, with respect, that same institutional delay in filing the FIR that we saw in Kolkata was also witnessed there. In fact, the head of the Child Rights Panel of Maharashtra, who's an Eknath Shinde Sena leader, she acknowledged that both the school and the police had done, again, a 12-hour delay. So I take Ranjana's point that some things... Sorry, Sanjay Hegde, you're trying to say something before I come to Radhika? Sanjay Hegde?
It was more than 12 hours.
Okay, I think it was 12. No. The incident happened on the 3rd. No, Sanjay, the incident happened on the 13th. Sorry. The incident happened on the 13th, and the parents were made to wait. You're correct. The parents were made to wait for 12 hours. The mother of one of the girls sexually abused was pregnant. All of this has been reported here. Because frankly, as a woman, I give two hoots, with respect to the political leaders here about any political party. I report it like I see it. My question to you now, ma'am, as a BJP spokesperson, is this case is now with the CBI. All of the tough questions that you had of the Kolkata Police, the Supreme Court has asked and addressed and tackled most of them. It is now the CBI that is in the dock. It is now the CBI that reports to the center that has to answer, is there one man? Are there more perpetrators? Today we are seeing in India Today reports suggesting that it was not gang rape. Now again, in the early parts of this crime unfolding, many doctors came on this platform and they said the nature of the injury suggests more than one perpetrator. We don't know. We can only go by what medical experts say to us. Do you believe or do you accept, ma'am, that the responsibility, the needle of accountability has now shifted to the center because this case is now directly with the CBI?
Barkha, the CBI, first let me mention that what is his name, Mr. Saket Gokhale's behavior reflects Mamata Banerjee's attitude. Why Bengal has reached the depths of despair is because this is their attitude. And I'll begin by saying that their passport to success is saying that we give Kanya Shri to women, so we are really the most women-oriented society, is a load of humbug. Talking about the CBI now, after they have tampered with evidence, with where the crime site, where they've broken up the bathroom where they may have washed their hands or whatever, it's going to become very tough for the CBI to come to a conclusion. Of course, they'll have to now talk to a lot of people because people are now coming out to speak to journalists or people out on the streets, etc. So I hope that the CBI will gather a lot of people, doctors and nurses and other staff who might have the courage to come and give them clues. And then the CBI will have a tough time because they wouldn't know where to begin from, because there will be so many areas they'll now have to look into. And let me just put a spotlight on this, on the mysterious doctor deaths at Arjekar Hospital, because Arjekar Hospital is a place which is notorious for all the things that has been happening there in the past. For example,
okay, so are you saying? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but are you first to your first point? Are you saying, because it's an important question, and I do want to take it to both Ranjana and Sanjay. Are you saying that the evidence tampering or the evidence that has gone with the cremation, which the father, in case the TMC wants to know who am I quoting, I'm quoting the father in this case, the father of the victim. The father of the victim says the cremation took place hastily. Evidence could have been destroyed. Are you then saying that you fear that the CBI will never get to the absolute full truth of this matter?
Well, this is not my party's opinion. This is my personal opinion. As a thinking human being, I would say that when the crime site has been tampered with, and there are so many clues as to why this was done, we have to understand, Barkha, and I say this to people, that today's civil outcry in Bengal has left Mamata Banerjee with very few options. While people are asking for justice, for example, they're actually asking for freedom from the TMC government. People know that corruption is so dangerously deep-rooted. With government ministers and the government machinery in cahoots, people have rejected Mamata Banerjee today, and they will only stop once they achieve their goals. Unfortunately, in our country, the police is a state subject. Mamata is the police minister. I really feel sorry that IPS officers have to cow down to chief ministers. They have to play second fiddle to them.
That's true for all parties, ma'am. That's true for all parties.
That is right. That's true for all parties.
That's true for all parties. That's true for all parties.
That's right. Yeah. That is right. So here you have it's double trouble for us. Because if you have the Kolkata police coming out with all sorts of falsified information, first saying that, unnatural death to suicide, to then murder, to, the FIR being lodged after the cremation, nearly 14 hours after the person's death, we are dealing with a very difficult situation for the CBI. I'm happy that Sandeep Ghosh, the scoundrel, is being questioned for so long by the CBI. Hopefully that guy is going to give clues. But what is even more disturbing is his being posted as officer on special duty at Shastra Bhavan. Imagine, look at how the system is protecting him. Look at that, and that is why, what's his name? Saket Gokhale.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, please.
I don't want to waste a minute more talking about Saket Gokhale, because neither he nor I
that is why he has this attitude. But what, I would just like to continue. Mamta is in a tight spot. She has received a googly. What is happening on the streets of Calcutta is unprecedented. People thought that the Bengalis had lost their spine, that they would never,
Yeah.
and we would discuss in our living rooms as well, that what has happened
Okay.
to the revolutionary Bengali.
I have to open this up for the others. Ranjana, my question to you is this:
Right.
because there was no actual dialogue with Saket Gokhale, he said Mamta Banerjee was not aware that this particular principal, Sandeep Ghosh, had got another posting. She has the health and the home portfolio. The vandalism of the mob on the RG Kaur College, which the Supreme Court has questioned. The role of the police comes under her. She has the home portfolio. Health is directly under her. How can she disassociate from this? And yes, I take your point that from Mumbai to Kolkata, some of these problems are institutional. They have to be above party politics. They're as true for party A as they're true for party B. But unfortunately, this case has been an inflection point because the crime was first compounded by a cover-up, and then the cover-up was compounded by the vandalism on the RG Kaur College, where, yes, indeed, doctors at night said the emergency room was vandalized. I absolutely stand by that story because the doctor said it to me. Ranjana, go ahead.
Okay, I think Barkha, let's compare it. I mean, when it happened again, Nirbhaya time, similar kind of reactions. Even the village was protesting. At the moment, it is West Bengal. There's a lot of political angle to it. We all, and as a political scientist, I can see the political angle here. But I think it's important to understand. Look, Sheila Dikshit went to the hospital immediately. We walked into her home while it was, so many people were protesting. We all, and then of course she went to the hospital to find out what exactly, and also she knew every bit of it. In this kind of a situation, a chief minister not being aware is what's happening is not something that we can buy in very easily. It's not and also that when he was transferred and then again reposted and all that, he just said, Saket said that some official signed it. Do you think it was that easy when the whole thing was on a boiling pot?
Correct.
How that is possible? But at the same time, I must say that a lot of people have played mischief in this whole story. A lot of people have kept the media misinformed. A lot of political angle has been grind. Even now, BJP spokesperson, you can hear her more talking about how Mamata Banerjee and her government and TMC and how clean is BJP for that matter. How clean for that matter any political party in this country or any politician, when in their rank and file members of parliament are charged with rape, charged with murder. There is a whole ADR report. I'm sure you must have noticed that how many they have really identified people. So let's keep the politics out. Let the politician do this leg face. For me, it is important to know that what happened to this women, and also whatever information has been collected by the local police will have to be handled to CBI. It's not that easy. It's not that easy that CBI has entered this space just like that when all the evidence has been destroyed. No, I don't want to believe that. We have followed many cases. We know exactly the details. Look, all the information will be handed over to CBI, and then all the people who are defending the West Bengal government in Supreme Court of India. Let's not think that this is going to be any element of non-seriousness in the whole thing or any element of misinformation.
Okay.
So I'm sure black and white will be clearly coming forward. Very senior counsel is there, both sides, and also all the judges. Can you imagine? Chief Justice sitting and listening to. I'm very happy about all this for just only one reason: for justice for women. One side, on her rape and dead body, politicians are playing politics. On the other side, the justice system is at least trying to get to the bottom of this whole issue and deliver some justice.
Okay, I'm going to give Sanjay Hegde the last word. Mr. Hegde, you opened by saying that you believe that the Supreme Court, while it had grilled West Bengal and its representatives, it is now somewhat satisfied with the level of detail. The point is, heads still have to roll. If Justice Pardiwala is compelled to say that he has not seen this process, this kind of sloppiness for 30 years that he's been on the bench. Yes, it's not in the order. It's said in open court. The judges are perfectly aware, first of all, that this is live streamed across the world. This is not a constitutional bench, but the Supreme Court opted for it in the spirit of transparency that I wish the Mamata government had shown some of in the immediate aftermath of this crime, for all of us to see it. Now, when you see a justice on the bench saying, I have not seen this for 30 years, do you think that the very least that the Mamata Banerjee government needs to do is for some accountability to be taken? Like, where do you see this going from here? Last word to you.
See, of course, there has to be accountability. If a woman doctor is raped and murdered while on the job after a 36-hour shift, then certainly something is wrong in that state, or whichever state it is.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to do a lot of work on your healthcare system, safety for health professionals, and all that. Secondly, you do need to stop talking down to women, shouting down protesters, intimidating protesters. That the Supreme Court stepped in with. They called Dr. Kunal Sarkar, one of the Calcutta's most eminent surgeons. The police said, come on up, we've served your summons. These are, in moments of crisis and catharsis, you have to be nothing more than the consoler and the comforter, that things will be better.
Absolutely.
Please remember, governments must remember that the entire Arab Spring started when a policewoman slapped a vegetable vendor who then went set himself on fire, and a whole series of events which they could not control went all over the region. So please, we are not in an era of dominant governments. We are in an era where accountability is being demanded at all levels from all governments.
Absolutely.
Talk softly and carry a big stick for the offenders, only those offenders. No, don't swing it around randomly.
Thank you for saying that. I think we saw the TMC spokesperson act in an absolutely opposite way to what Sanjay Hegde has just described. We leave it there, very much trying to return the focus to justice for the victim and justice for anybody who is a victim of this kind of heinous crime, irrespective of which state it is and which political party is at the helm. Thank you, Sanjay, to Radhika and to Ranjana. And to our audience, I must say, it is rare for me to lose my temper. But today, I am sure that at least 99% of you will agree that I was more than justified. Thank you for watching. Take care.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.